George Groves versus Dennis Douglin Post Fight review. I'll make a statement straight up and say that I believe George Groves is finished as a fighter at the top level. You're going to say, what? What are you talking about? Or how can he be finished at world level? Here's my point. George Groves, I first said this a while ago. I felt that the fight when he had with Froch came too early in his career. Now people say to me, oh yeah, but he did really well against Froch. He still gets stopped. And in the second fight, he got knocked out. 2 fights he's had at world level, and 2 fights he hasn't cut the mustard. That's the fact. I'm not making it up. I had somebody earlier today say, oh yeah, he was winning most of the rounds. Winning most of the rounds doesn't mean that you are a champion. Winning the rounds and getting your hands raised and have the belt on your waist makes you a champion. Not winning a few rounds, running out of gas and getting stopped. And the big problem I found with George Groves is that if he doesn't blast you out in the first 4 to 5 rounds, then he starts to get tired and he has stamina problems. If you look at all his big fights, the fight he had against DeGale, he started tiring after rounds 7 to 8. Look at the fight against Froch, where he started to tire. So when Froch started to catch up with him when he was doing so well in the earlier rounds. And then look at the last fight he had, again, got tagged and got knocked out. He's come back against Rebrasse, didn't look impressive against Rebrasse, and tonight, as far as I'm concerned, he looks shocking. If you're an elite super middleweight, and you've got a guy that's just come up from middleweight, just moved up to super middleweight, and you're hitting him with your best shots, and he's just standing in front of you and going toe to toe with you, you know, and let's get something straight here. Groves was hitting this guy with some big shots, and this is no disrespect to Paddy Fitzpatrick, but Paddy Fitzpatrick is solely responsible for the 2 fights with George Groves and Carl Froch, and the Rebrasse fight, and this fight. So there's 4 fights Paddy Fitzpatrick has been with George Groves, and slowly but surely, I'm not lying, and I'm not trying to dismiss Paddy Fitzpatrick. If you look at Adam Booth and this style, George Groves was a sniper who was in and out, side to side, lateral movement, hit you with a shot, get out of the way. Now, under Paddy Fitzpatrick, he's holding his feet more, he's standing in the center of the ring, and he's more upright. The other key thing is about George Groves, when he was with Adam Booth and he had his down slung down by the side, or hanging down by his ankle almost, not his ankle, but by his kneecap. That's okay if you're doing that. But I guess with Adam Booth's style, there was distance. First of all, I don't think Groves would have got knocked up by Froch had he had Booth in the corner, because distance and timing. And Booth would have seen that how Froch was closing in on Groves, and would have got him to move more. Right? I'm not sure how much of a strategist Paddy Fitzpatrick is, and I'm not sure how much of a real trainer he is either. I think George Groves has regressed as a fighter and not progressed. Those are my thoughts. I think he's regressed. Let's go on about this fight. He was getting caught by counters, which is fine, but this guy Douglin was meant to just a walk in the park. Somebody's just going to blow over and walk towards a world title shot. Now, if you take that into consideration, and then you try and put him against the leading super middleweights in the world, there's a problem, because you can't walk in straight lines with your chin in the air when you haven't got a great chin, and against bigger punches you're not going to get away with it. He got tagged with 3 or 4 really good shots against Douglin, who's not a super middleweight, but he's a middleweight. Okay, there are people who continue blowing smoke off George Groves' ass, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is it's not hating on George Groves, it's just seeing things as they are. And I don't see why George Groves gets all this publicity and all this stuff. He's a 2-time world title challenger that's lost. Yeah? That's lost in world title bids, and he's not come up with the goods. Right? Those are the facts. If somebody can tell me that George Groves is getting better as a fighter, then I want to see how. And the second thing is, if he's not getting better, he's getting worse. And if he's getting worse, or he's stagnating, he's not getting better, then what's he going to look like when he's in a world title shot against much better opposition? he's going to suddenly up his game. Well, surely you want to be cleaning out the people that you're fighting now. He didn't look good against Robrassi. He didn't look good against this guy tonight. They can say he needs rest, but rest is not going to deal with the technical issues that Groves has got now. And I don't know what the problem is between him and Adam Booth, but if he's serious about having any sort of world title ambitions, he needs to get Adam Booth back in his corner. I said this in a video before the second fight with Crotch, that I believed that Adam Booth was missing in the corner with George Groves. Do you mean? I said in the lead up to this fight against Douglin, when you're talking about the captain of the ship and who the captainship was, Adam Booth, he was the one that was leading George Groves in a certain direction. You know, at least with David Haye, he's won the world title at cruiserweight and at heavyweight and can be his own man now, and kind of like has kind of knows what he's doing with his career. He's more mature. I'm not so sure about Groves. And like I said, he's not getting any better, and you've got to wonder, as Carl Froch said, he's been Cobra'd, and I believe Carl Froch, he has been Cobra'd, and I'm not so sure what George Groves has got left at world level. I do like the George Groves entrance. I do like when he comes to the ring. He's got a funny walk, entertaining, humorous, yet means business. But his performances have been lacking, and having looked at that guy Douglin tonight, and he's been knocked out before, and it took George Groves 7 rounds to get rid of him. Is George Groves a real big puncher at elite level? It's a question. If I were George Groves, I would stop on this Anthony Durrell nonsense and go and tackle Arthur Abraham. That's who I would go and fight. See who the winner of Arthur Abraham and Paul Smith is, and then look and see him fight the winner. That would be a better option of being a world champion than going against Durrell, who will clean his clock for him. Because Durrell is not going to stand there, and if he does stand there, he'll be hitting Groves back. And with that upright style that Groves has got, and he has no distance, no sense of distance anymore, I see that Durrell will knock Groves out, who hasn't got the greatest chin and hasn't got the greatest stamina. And those are my thoughts. That's just being brutally honest. Groves needs help. He does need help, and you can rest as much as you like. You still have to address the issues. Is he running enough? Is he doing the hard work, the hard things in the gym? Is he training hard enough? Who's he sparring with? Questions. What the sparring partners is he using? Why is he looking slower now in his fights? Why is he less elusive? Why has he decided to stand in the pocket and throw more punches than be more that elusive guy that he was before? What's made him change his style? That had brought him such success until he fought Carl Froch. So I don't know where this is all going, but it's not going to end very well. If you're a George Groves fan, as I said, I like the Saint, but I'm not breaking my heart with any expectation of him winning any world title. If he does, great, but from what I'm seeing here, he's a knockout again waiting to happen. So he better call Adam Booth. I'm sorry, Paddy Fitzpatrick. There's no disrespect to Paddy Fitzpatrick. The guy's probably done nothing wrong, but on the evidence of what I'm seeing there, Robrassi, Douglin, Froch 1, Froch 2, and what makes him an elite super middleweight, please? Who else has he beat? He beat DeGale, which I thought DeGale won that fight, and he beat a retired Glenn Johnson. Who has George Groves beaten of any significant note to make him warrant a world title shot? Robrassi? And this is it. I've had enough. Okay, let me know what you guys think. I'm out.